failure is not really failure. We have to help our young men understand their identity. Hey, Determined Destiny family. This is Coach Kevin coming back at you with this week's video. And I've got a really good one. It's an oldie but goodie from the standpoint of I'm doing a book review. And I'm doing a quick review of the book Kingdom Men by Dr. Tony Evans. And if you have not had a chance to dig into this book, I'm going to give you some quick tidbits about it. But I want to encourage you to get into this book and have some good discussion around it and pull some things from it so that your young man can be more determined about being a kingdom man. And I'm going to continue on this conversation around courage and how we can help our young men have more courage in their day-to-day lives so that they are more successful in everything they do. And then they'll begin to understand that failure is not really failure, because you can have the courage to get back up and do that thing again. So let's dig into this book by Dr. Tony Evans, Kingdom Men. First thing that I want to talk to you about with this book is we have to help our young men understand their identity. And if you check out my book, 10 Things Your Son Needs to Know to Be Successful, I have a chapter in the book that is related to this. And so when we talk about helping our young men understand their identity, they need to know who they are. And that's really one of the biggest challenges for our young men today, for them to really understand who they are and who they're working to become and the people that they should have in their lives to help them get to that point. So Dr. Tony Evans emphasizes the importance of young men understanding their identity as kingdom men, and knowing that you are the head and not the tail, and knowing that there is greatness in store for you if you're willing to work for that greatness. If you're determined to do the right things to get to that greatness, you'll know and understand that, yeah, it's going to be a process, but you're going to get there because you understand that you are a kingdom man. And in saying that you're a kingdom man to our young men out there, what I really want you to take away from that and understand what that is, that life isn't going to be perfect, but your mindset on who you are will determine the actions that you do on a day-to-day basis. And if you have the mindset that I'm a kingdom man, if you think about the idea around kings and their position and the prince and their position and the things that they do versus the common man, the everyday man, those that just follow the crowd and do what everybody else does, you'll know and understand that their actions are different. They know their identity, so they know what they should be doing. What I really want to discuss with this is the significance of being rooted in your family's principles and values, and what your family says is important. We have to know that those things have to be a part of our everyday mindset to guide our activities. And so you might say, well, my family doesn't really talk to me about who I am as a person, so I'm not real sure about my identity. And my family doesn't really talk to me about principles and values, so I'm not real sure what values I should live by on a day-to-day basis. That's the beauty of Determined Destiny. That's what we're all about. For the young man that does not have that being poured into them day in and day out, that's what Determined Destiny is all about. So I know we have a mix of people that watch this. We've got some young men that watch this on their own, and then we've got some coaches, some teachers, some mentors, some single parents that watch this as well. And so what I want to emphasize with both groups is Determined Destiny is your foundational point to help you determine your values, your principles, and what your focus should be, young men, every single day, so that you can understand that you are a kingdom man and greatness lies within you. You have to do certain things to pull that greatness out, but it is within you. And if you get grounded and rooted in that understanding, then your day-to-day actions will lead to better outcomes, more productive use of your time. Next, I want to encourage our young men to seek your identity in God rather than in society's expectations. And with that being said, I know that our young men today have it tough and they struggle with all the things that are going on around them. And that's where I say you have to be able to block out society's expectations and know who you are as a person. Know what you value, know what your principles are, so that those things drive you each and every day, and not what society says a man is and what a man should be. So here at Determined Destiny, we teach God biblical principles, okay? And that's just the reality of it, right? But with that being said, you have to understand that the way that we teach it can apply to anybody. You don't have to be in church every Sunday to understand these principles and the way that we teach them. You don't have to be raised in a family that is, reading the Bible and spending time encouraging that relationship with God in order to get our principles and be able to internalize them to live them out. And we know that we have an audience that is made up of different ethnic backgrounds, religious backgrounds, ethnicities, and that's okay because our principles and values are good for everybody, okay? So we want to encourage our young men to be grounded and rooted in their identity of being kingdom men so that their mindsets and their day-to-day actions are around the king's thought process, not the common man's thought process, okay? Next thing I want to talk to you about is embracing responsibility. This is a big one for me because in the book, it talks about the theme of taking responsibility for one's actions and the decisions as a kingdom man. See, when you can take responsibilities for your action, then you will let the world know that they can count on you. So even when you make mistakes, that's okay, because you take responsibility for that. When you sign up to do something, whatever that something is, whether that's go to school and be a student, whether that is join a team and be a part of a team, whether that is to be an academic leader within your school, whatever it is you sign up to do, you take responsibility for that and do those things that come with that position. Wow. When we can get our young men to grab hold of that, do the things that come with whatever position you're in. Let's say that you're a son, and in that household, you're the only male in that household. So you have to take responsibility of that and do the things that come with that position. You talk about that within the family, within the home. These are my responsibilities, and these are the things that I'm going to do. So the role of a leader naturally comes out as you're taking on responsibilities. The role of being a man of integrity will come out as you're taking on responsibilities. And when you take responsibility for things, then what you're saying is you can hold me accountable for it. I will be held accountable for the shaping of how people look at me and who I am as a young man. And that's what Determined Destiny wants to create. Young men who will take responsibility for their future. They will take responsibility and be held accountable for the things that they're supposed to be held accountable for, and will not pass that off to anybody else. Your future is in your hands. Don't give it to anybody else. I'm going to continue this series and having this discussion around this book, Kingdom Men. It's going to be rich, y'all. Y'all stay with me, and let's keep digging our way through this so that we can help our young men be more determined about their destiny. So the takeaways for today: being grounded and rooted in your identity, knowing your principles and values as a young man, taking responsibility for your actions so that your character will be built up with integrity and accountability. If we can help our young men grasp those things, then they will have the mindset of a kingdom man that is determined about his destiny. Hey, I'm Coach Kevin. Hang in there. It's going to get better.